Well, hello. It is like dark. It's not even 5 o'clock yet. It's like it's raining. All this rain is melting that snow though, which is cool. So I'll take it. Anyway, so seller's objections. You guys may have remembered from my video last week. It'll be on our YouTube channel probably sometime this week if you missed it, about the difference between persuasion and manipulation. So over the course of probably the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go over some objections that someone who wants to sell a home might have, and some answers to those objections, right? How to handle it. Some of you guys who are in the business of selling real estate, this may help you, right? Now understand though, this isn't just about like convincing someone to do something they don't actually want to do, right? When someone has an objection, it's because either it's emotional or it's logical, and it could be because they have a faulty, like their logic is faulty, right? There's a mistake in their way of thinking. So our jobs as, real estate professionals is to find out if the objection is legitimate or is something we can overcome. Obviously, if selling a home is not the right answer for the person, then you're not going to sell the home. You're not going to list it. But if it is a right answer and they just have a reason in their head why they think they can't or shouldn't do it at this time, then we're going to want to help them overcome that and find that stuff out. So the objection number one, we're just going to go through the list in a series of videos, but is basically I'm not ready to sell right now because I have to clean up my stuff, I have to declutter, I have to repair my deck, I have to whatever, right? And so a lot of times people, when they are thinking about selling, they create a to-do list in their head that's a mile long, and it seems just like this insurmountable list with family and obligations and work obligations, all this stuff. They're now supposed to find time to do this list that they've created to get their house sold. Well, what you might find is that your list is not as big as you think, and this is why you bring myself in, or as someone from my team, a professional that knows what they're doing, knows how to sell homes. You bring us in and let us assess the house. You might not, decluttering is something of course you'll have to do, but that might not take as long as you think it will take. Repairing stuff, you may not have to do the repairs that you think you have to do. A big mistake I see sellers doing is going through and fixing a bunch of things in the home that is not really going to help their ability to sell the house or increase their value any. So what will happen is sometimes sellers will spend 10, 15, 20 grand on repairs and they'll never get that money back on the sale. And that's a mistake. And it's because they didn't consult someone like myself, where I can come in, I can assess the house and also then assess the neighborhood. If you're updating stuff that nobody else really has updated, and the price points are just landing where they land based on location and other factors, in some cases, for example, like in some cases updating a kitchen might get you some more value. In other cases, updating your kitchen might not get you any more value at all. And so I hate to see sellers spend money and spend labor, time, and work on things they don't need to do. If you're selling the house, the idea is you want to do the minimal amount of stuff that you have to do to get it sold at the highest dollar amount, right? So you want to spend as little money as possible. You want to do the minimal amount of work, right? It makes sense. You don't want to spend an extra $10,000 or $15,000 that you don't need to spend if you could sell it as is now, by doing a couple things. Maybe spend a little bit less money and do a couple things and then get it sold now at the same price, right? It just doesn't make sense that you would invest money in a house that you're going to sell to somebody else unless you're going to get that money back somehow, or unless it increases your saleability. So this mistaken thinking, it's just because people have this list that's a mile long. And so the answer is, of course, have myself, someone from my team come in and assess what needs to be done. And then we'll create a timeline for you. So at our listing appointment, we'll go over everything that's going to happen. There's stuff we need to do on the back end to create you know, some really good digital marketing ads for you. If it makes sense to get a drone video out and get the outside of your house, you know, present that well, get some video and footage and photos for the inside, all of these things that we need to do, and that takes time for us to put together too. So maybe you have a to-do list, and maybe it's only going to take you a couple weeks to do, and that still allows us to do our work on the back end, and then we list it in a couple weeks, right? But the point is, you just don't know, and you need to get a plan together and call a professional like myself to come in and help you create that plan. Don't do it on your own and then risk doing things that you don't need to do, or risk creating a list that's just so big and it seems insurmountable when really, you know, it's not as many things as you might need to do to get it sold for top dollar in this market. So anyway, that's handling that objection. That's that objection. A lot of people have this false sense of what they actually need to do to get their home sold, and it's maybe not quite as much as they think. So bring us in and we'll assess it for you, and that's the answer. We'll come up with an actual plan. We'll get it written down. We'll get things on the calendar. So now your dreams and goals become a reality, right? That's what we want to do. We want to make this real for you. So thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care.